Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be building a Separatist list using General Grievous, and we're trying to do something a little different. There have been a lot of Star Wars Armada questions and concerns about Separatists lately, and there aren't really that many strong Separatist lists out there, at least that kind of diversify what the Separatists are bringing to the table. I feel like every time I either see Separatists or try to run Separatists, it always goes back to, Kraken, Martuk, or 1776, where it's just ship to ship dice help. And while that's certainly one of my favorite ways to play, and one of the reasons I will still run Separatists from time to time, they don't have list diversity. And I feel like the Republic just recently got a little bit of help with some list diversity, some archetype changes. Separatists really need that. When you only have 6 commanders, and 3 of them do the exact same thing. I mean, not the exact same thing, but 3 of them basically support the exact same type of fleet and, feel like the same thing. We need some differences. So I'm going to try and highlight that today. I'm going to try to highlight that with bombers. And Grievous is probably the one to do it with. He helps anytime you lose a ship or a squadron, you can take another unique squadron or ship. Anybody who has defense token, basically you get a charge for a defense token back. If it's gone completely, you get to pull it back and set it to its exhausted side, or if you got one that's exhausted, you get to set it to its green side. So every time someone dies, Grievous gets to give a charge of a defense token back. So he's more of a defensive commander. He's not really a squadron commander, but he's a defensive commander that is, that can definitely utilize squadrons. So he's, in my opinion, he's kind of the squadron commander. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be using bombers. So I want to look at the Hyena droid bomber because I feel like this is a squadron that probably should be used a lot more. It has great potential, and I'm going to try to exploit that potential in this build. So we've got 4 and 4. They can move pretty fast. They've got 4 hull. Not going to last forever, right? They've got 2 anti. They have 2 anti ship and 1 anti squadron. So, they're not terrible. They're not terrible. I'm sorry, 2 anti squadron, 1 anti ship. And as we look at our the rest of our stuff, we can do fairly well with these guys. Again, a red die against a ship is just okay. If it's bomber, it's a little bit better. But if they're activated by a squadron command, they're going to be getting an extra red die. So 2 red dice against the ship. Well, now we're talking 2 red dice with bomber, and then we add bomber command center in there. I feel like there's a lot of potential with these guys. And we're going to do some other things too. So we're going to have a couple of these in our build. We're also going to add some named because we're going to have General Grievous as our commander. So I want both of our bomber aces. So we're going to have the Bactoid prototypes. These guys are nice because if they're not alone, basically, which usually they're not going to be, you get to add a die with an accuracy. So now all of a sudden I can have 2 red dice and an accuracy. So I could roll basically 4 damage and stop your brace, all just from a 16-point bomber, which is really cool. Or I could even re-roll that accuracy if I have Bomber Command Center. So, if you're, depending on how we're doing things, that could be fun. Plus, it's a scatter ace. I mean, yeah, 4 movement, 4 hull, scatter ace is great. Then we got DBS 404, also another scatter ace bomber. If you're touching the defender, you can suffer damage to add a die to your attack pool of a color that's already in your attack pool. So both of our scatter ace bombers here can get us 3 dice. Again, it's going to work. We're going to need Bomber Command Center. We'll include it. Don't worry. It's coming. It's definitely coming. And one of the things that also made, that I think Separatists got a little bit of help here is they finally got an escort. So I can put Wat Tambor in here. That can help keep our bombers alive, right? He's got escort, relay, and screen. Look, I think they've definitely needed an escort. That does mean I can't use Wat Tambor as an officer helping keep my flagship alive. I'll have to live with that. But I also want to be able to take out enemy squadrons that might just say, okay, well, when you have an escort, I get it. He's going to live a little bit, but you're not going to shoot my ships. So I need, and I feel like our tri-fighters are pretty good for that. Oh, Grievous would be, but he's going to be my commander, so I can't do that. So I'm going to go with the Flakafrock prototypes. They're kind of like that. They just keep doing damage. Even if somebody parks one of those awesome counter aces, I can just be like, okay, I'll park here. You're still locked up and tied up with us, and if you end your activation, you're taking a damage. So I don't even have to shoot you to put damage on you. So I like that. That's going to be my 4 aces. We have some generic bombers. I'll bump that up to 3 for this one, and I'm going to add also some vulture droids to be Grievous fuel, and also there to kind of help take out enemy squadrons. I do have to clear out the squadrons so the bombers can get in. Against a really heavy squadron build, I will still struggle here, but not struggle too much. Not struggle too much. The Flakafrocks hopefully will do well. Wat Tambor can pack a nasty punch against enemy squadrons. And I'm going to have some, at least a moderate amount of flak. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with a Providence class carrier as our flagship. Look, this is a nasty ship. It has, it's got two black dice and it's flak. So again, I can certainly do that. Overall, it's a well-rounded ship. We're going to put Grievous on board. We're going to give it point defense ion cannon, so in case I do go up against a heavy squadron, hey, no problem. I've got defense for that. And I will also toss on linked turbo laser towers, just to give myself either concentrated anti-squadron or to give myself a little bit of rerolls for salvo, and also dice mitigation for the limited, I've got red dice everywhere, at least in my ship-to-ship arcs. So, Link to Laser Tower is just incredibly good card. One of the most useful and versatile cards in the game. And there we go. That's going to be our flagship. Not putting much else on there right now, because again, we do have a lot of points in squadrons. I want to have another decent ship. We're going to go with a Munificent Comms Frigate here. This is going to be a long-range attacker. He's going to be shredding squadrons from the distance. So if you do have a big squadron ball, he's going to come out there and try to take some of them down from a safe perspective. We're going to put point defense ion cannons so they can't they can't close the gap and try to get them there. And then we'll put linked turbo laser towers there as well, giving us a little bit of when we got absolutely positively have to kill that ace that has one health left. We're trying to get to him. I like this a lot. It definitely works for me. So we've got a little bit of that. We need a bomber command center though, so we're going to do a hard sell, and we'll add the bomber command center to it. That brings us up to 399. That's a pretty simple, straightforward squadron support list. Now our numbers, we have 4 squadron here, 3 squadron there, and 2 squadron there. So we're looking at 9 that we can activate. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 1 more squadron than we can activate, which isn't necessarily a problem. We'll probably lose a vulture very, very quickly, at least 1 vulture. Also, we could fly close to the edge. My buddy Chandler will run Grievous quite a bit. Try to fight on the edges, so during the squadron phase, if I've lost the defense token, I can just move a vulture off the board. They die. If I get attacked multiple times and I burn my salvo, I'll do it willingly and know that I'm going to get that token right back. So Grievous definitely works for that. So Grievous is okay having a little extra squadron filler. And so that could be a really fun list right here. Now we got to do our commands. Of course, this can slow down a game when you have a lot of squadrons. It can slow down a game, but you're going to have great deployment, though. You got 10 squadrons. You drop maybe a Munificent first. You don't necessarily, or a hard sell first. You're going to have Bomber Command. You're going to want to keep it kind of close. But then you're going to get to drop the Munificent and the Providence last, which is very, very cool. So we'll probably last, because I'm going to get five activations of placing 2 squadrons each. It's going to really help. So that's, you have 10 total placement activations for deployment. So that's cool. 10 deployments is pretty nice. Or 8 deployments is pretty nice, rather. All right, so we're going to add objectives at this point. And there's a couple of good ones here. A surprise attack is always a good one. People don't ever want to do that. I'm thinking I'm going with precision strike. Because, hey, when bombers or a ship perform an attack, we're going to gain a victory token every time damage was dealt. We can gain a lot of victory tokens from that. A lot of times I like fire lanes, lets me know where the battle's going to take place, but at the same time, I really like fleet ambush. At the same time, a fighter ambush is going to work here because after a squadron performs an attack against a ship, if the defender was dealt a damage card, owner gains a victory token. So kind of hedging our bets there. And when we go into blue, we have a very similar one. There's a lot of good ones for here. Solar Corona is always good, but superior positions is just the way to go when you're running a lot of squadrons. Because then every time I can get your rear, you get to get that victory token. And the squadrons have a very easy time attacking the rear. So very, very cool stuff here. You definitely want to make sure you're saving your activations for those bombers primarily, but any of your ships. Well, I guess Wat Tambor doesn't have to get activated because he doesn't get the bonus for AI when he gets activated, but everybody else really wants to get that AI increase. So get extra dice when they're attacking. Your Vulture droids want the extra die when attacking a ship, but or when attacking a squadron rather. But your bombers really want that extra die when attacking a ship. So that is the list. Let me know what you guys think. That's going to do it for today. Hopefully you guys are looking for something different with Separatists. We'll appreciate this. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. And always have a wonderful time washing your socks.